Using AI to write your book isn't a moral failure, but using it badly, that just might be. That's a weird thing to say, right? We don't usually talk about using a tool badly in an ethical sense. You can use a hammer badly and hit your thumb. You can use a spreadsheet badly and mess up your budget, but we don't say it's immoral. Yet with AI and creative writing, the conversation is different. There's this cloud of guilt that hangs over the whole topic. A quiet nagging voice in the back of an author's mind. Let me tell you about a writer I know. We'll call him David. David works a full-time job, has a family, and has been trying to write his sci-fi novel for 7 years. He has a world built in his head that's more real to him than his own neighborhood. He has characters he's been thinking about for longer than he's known some of his friends. He heard about AI tools that could help him outline, brainstorm, and speed things up. And for a second, he felt a surge of hope. Maybe this was the thing that could finally get him over the finish line. But then, immediately after that hope, came the guilt. He felt like a fraud just for thinking about it. He imagined his future readers finding out he'd used AI and feeling cheated. He imagined other authors looking down on him. The central question that paralyzed him was, if I use this, am I still the author? Is it still my book? This question is the ghost in the machine for so many writers right now. It's a genuine, important conversation to have. Because if you can't get past that feeling of ethical unease, you'll never be able to use these incredible tools effectively. You'll either avoid them completely and stay stuck, or you'll use them with so much guilt that it poisons the entire creative process. For a long time, I watched people like David struggle with this. And I realized the guilt comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of what AI is and what our actual responsibility is as storytellers. It's all rooted in a couple of big, scary myths. The first one is the big one, the one that feels the most damning. Myth number 1. Using AI is just sophisticated plagiarism. This is a huge fear. We've had it drilled into us since grade school. Don't copy. The idea that this AI has been trained on a vast library of the internet, including other people's books, makes it feel like you're just stealing ideas and mashing them together. But that's not how these models work. Let's use a human metaphor. Imagine a young art student. To learn her craft, she spends years in museums. She studies thousands of paintings. She analyzes Rembrandt's use of light, Monet's brushstrokes, Picasso's sense of form. She internalizes the patterns, the techniques, the principles of composition and color theory. Now, when she goes to her studio to paint her own original masterpiece, is she plagiarizing Rembrandt? No. She is using the vast knowledge she has absorbed to create something entirely new. Her unique vision is filtered through the techniques she has learned. A large language model does something similar, but on a computational level. It hasn't memorized books to copy-paste them. It has analyzed trillions of connections between words and concepts to understand the patterns of language. When you give it a prompt, it's not searching a database for the perfect sentence to steal. It is generating, word by word, a statistically probable but entirely new sequence of text based on the patterns it has learned. The ethical line, then, isn't about using the tool. It's about how you use it. Your intent matters. If you prompt it to write a chapter in the exact style of J.K. Rowling, and you try to pass that off as your own unique voice, you're acting in bad faith. You're misrepresenting your work. But if you use it to say, here's my chapter, help me identify any pacing issues, or give me 10 potential plot twists for a character who has just discovered a family secret, you're not plagiarizing. You're using a tool to enhance your own creativity. You are still the artist. The vision is still yours. Which brings us to the second, more philosophical myth. Myth number 2. AI removes the soul or humanity from the story. This is the fear that if a machine touches the work, the magic is gone. That a book created with AI assistance will be a hollow, generic, soulless product. And honestly, if you just ask an AI to write me a fantasy novel, you'll probably get something that feels exactly like that. Because the AI doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have lived experiences. It has never felt heartbreak or joy, or the quiet melancholy of a rainy afternoon. And that's the point. It's not supposed to be the source of the soul. You are. I want you to think about a different metaphor. Forget the writer for a second. Think about a world-class chef in a Michelin star restaurant. That chef has a singular vision for a dish. She knows the exact flavor profile she wants, the emotional response she wants to evoke, the story she wants to tell on the plate. Now, does she go into the forest herself to forage every mushroom? Does she personally grind the flour for the bread? Does she stand there and chop every single onion, carrot, and stalk of celery for the base of her sauce? No. She has a team of highly skilled sous chefs. They handle the prep work, the mise en place. They execute the tedious, time-consuming tasks with technical perfection so that the master chef is freed up to do what only she can do. Orchestrate the final dish, balance the flavors, perfect the plating, and infuse the entire creation with her unique vision, her soul. Does the work of the sous chefs make the final dish less authentic? Does it remove the chef's soul from the plate? Of course not. It enables her soul to be expressed more perfectly. That is the ethical and effective way to use AI. It is your sous chef. You are the master chef. You don't ask it for the soul. You bring the soul. You bring the pain, the joy, the core emotional truth of your characters. You use the AI as a hyper-competent assistant to handle the grunt work. Hey, AI, my first act feels slow. Analyze the sentence structure and let me know where I can make it punchier. Hey, AI, I have this idea for a magic system. Help me brainstorm its limitations to avoid plot holes later. Hey, AI, cross-reference my entire 400-page manuscript and tell me if my main character's eye color ever changes. By delegating these technical tasks, you aren't removing your soul from the project. You are preserving your creative energy for the work that requires your soul. And this led me to the breakthrough. The key benefit that flips this entire ethical dilemma on its head. The most important ethical responsibility an author has is not to a romantic, outdated notion of the struggling artist. Your primary ethical duty is to your reader. Your reader deserves the best possible story you can give them. They are giving you their most precious resources, their time and their attention. In return, they deserve a story that is immersive, a plot that is tight, characters that are consistent, and a world that feels real. So the question changes. It's no longer, is it ethical to use a tool that helps me write a better book? The new question is, if a tool exists that can help me find plot holes, fix pacing issues, and create a more polished and compelling story for my reader, is it ethical for me to ignore it out of a misplaced sense of purism? When you frame it that way, everything changes. Using AI responsibly isn't cheating your reader. It's respecting your reader. It's using every available tool to honor their investment in your story. This is the key. This is how writers like David get unstuck. They stop seeing AI as a source of guilt and start seeing it as a tool for fulfilling their duty to their audience. They develop a clear, ethical framework. They remain the architect, the visionary, the master chef, and they use their powerful new sous chef to build their worlds faster, stronger, and more coherently than ever before. The fear is replaced with confidence. The paralysis is replaced with momentum. This framework isn't just a theory. It's a practical approach that authors are using right now to finally finish the books they've been dreaming about for years, and to do it with a clear conscience. If you want to see how I'm actually using AI to write full books and connect with other authors doing the same thing, check out my school group. It's free to join. You'll also get access to the tool I personally use, Instant Author. Links are in the description. See you inside.